Alright, let's get through another one. What have we got? We've got Punchline tourney round 2. Mike Desanto versus Moon. 2 bars. I believe we might have an issue with the 2 bars, but never mind, we'll get to that. Alright, Mike Desanto. I said give me a challenge, not someone worse. Listen, featherweight, if we go pound for pound, you'll end up shot dead. The stick come ready to blow like it never got head. Playing balloons, the only time you pop lead. Drake flow, start at the bottom, then hit the top next. So you better not step, cross the line and get knocked out like dodgeball penalties. This heat on paper, not a hot sauce recipe. Practice putting rounds through the net like I play top golf every week. Ironic how I'm lifting the tools, but he's fixing to lose. You don't measure up, but you'll fit in the tomb. When I reflect sunbeams to start hitting the moon. Silently buck under the pillow like he's missing a tooth, cause his fury ain't real. Drug dealer, under the coat. Everything I'm carrying peels. I have the bullet soaked in like he marinates steel. He just took a crash course to death. Jesus ain't grabbing that wheel. That's clean, man. That's real fucking clean. Like, I read through that and I'm not putting any fucking effort into that. I could find a fucking beat to spit that over real fucking easy. That's first impressions, just super smooth, super clean. Mike knows how to fucking write. Okay. Ola Bami Dele, I'll have a ham on rye. Mike is one slippery thing, the way he keeps dropping fast. I gotta remember to say fast, like Americans. I say fast, but okay. Mike is one slippery thing, the way he keeps dropping fast, starting to think he runs the game like a fabric. You'll get worn out and bodied out while he's on his gown. With his painted face, all he needs is a red nose to be a fucking clown. Like a victim of heartbreak with anger, I'll drop the round. You're feeling on fire, that's enjoying M songs, but if it's the other way, I'ma sort it out. Lightweight, but bitch, I'm the one who butcher. Your body build is all fats, I'm spitting all facts. You on my lane, weight reduced, that's calories burnt down. I don't lift heavyweight, but when I do it's lightweight. I am Jay Cutler. The ring will drop, but no credit alert when I buck ya. Steady tapping X, think a frustrated browser, remove an ad, immediately Mike pops out. You want them K-talks? I'll cut your days short. Bucks my rainbow, that's Jews paying. I'm the snake eater, you can tell with crow dead. And can skills, no perfume spraying. You a soldier? You a soldier to trying to make it. You a soldier to trying to make it real. You added being a 1 to your bio. We already know the shit you're faking. And some expo here. Snake eater. I won snake rhymes in a battle. Snake eater is slang for special forces. Rainbow, new recruit who hasn't passed basic training. When did Americans start calling boots rainbows? Okay. What else? Alright. First impressions, not as smooth, not as clean. There's some good stuff in there. Just a little more awkward to read. Doesn't flow as smooth, doesn't read as smooth. Okay. So, multis and flow, end up shot dead, never got head, pop lead, hit the top next, better not step, dodgeball penalties, hot sauce recipe, top golf every week, lifting the tools, fixing to lose, fitting the tomb, hitting the moon, fury ain't real, carrying peels, marinate steel, grabbing that wheel. Okay, that's cool. Again, tight, smooth. Dropping fast, bodied out, on his gown, fucking clown, drop the round, sort it out, who butcher, burnt down, cutler, buck ya, pops out. Jews paying, can, perfume spraying, Jews paying, perfume spraying, you faking, not as clean, not as tight, but okay, this is a punchline tourney, so that's what we're going to focus on, content. Alright, listen, featherweight. If we go pound for pound, you'll end up shot dead. Featherweight, pound for pound, It's an okay comparison. End up shot dead. I'm not actually sure if Mike's going for some sort of fucking duck shooting thing there. If he is, that could be clearer. I think he's just going for a featherweight, pound for pound, and then end up shot dead is more just there to make a multi-fit, and just a bit of fuck you, I'm gonna shoot you. The stick come ready to blow like it never got hit. That's nice. I would prefer bars that don't make me picture your dick, but it's too early in the morning for that. But no, that's nice. Playing balloons, the only time he popped lead. Playing balloons, the only time he popped lead. I'm not quite getting that. Maybe there's some sort of, go down like a lead balloon thing happening there. But it could maybe be spelled out a little clearer. Mike does the same thing as me. He tries to keep his flow nice and tight and lean, so he cuts out all the extraneous words. And like me, sometimes he starts with an idea that's fleshed out and well explained, and then he cuts words to avoid stretching, and he cuts out too many words, and he forgets that the lean version doesn't fully explain to the audience what he's talking about, and it leaves a little bit of the audience having to sit there and think and reach what exactly is he talking about, and we start having to do a little bit of his work for him. It's nice enough. It just gives me a little moment of what is he actually talking about, and I have to stop and think about it. But hey, it's the first part of the line. It's set up. I'm not supposed to think about it too deeply. Okay, playing balloons, the only time you pop lead. Drake flow, start at the bottom, then hit the top next. That's okay. So you better not step, cross the line and get knocked out by dodgeball penalties. That's a nice punch. This is heat on paper, not a hot sauce recipe. I had to stop and think about that for 2 seconds, and then I was like, fuck, that's nice. Heat on paper, hot sauce recipe written down in a recipe book. That's nice. Practice putting rounds through the net like I play Top Golf every week. Golf. Net. Is Top Golf that shit that's like basically like a reinvention of netball? I think that's the deal there. Ironic how I'm lifting the tools, but he's fixing to lose. Tools, fixing. Yep, okay, cool. So it's sort of a ABC becomes CBA reversal type flip. You don't measure up, but you'll fit. Okay, tools, fixing, measure up. Cool. You don't measure up, but you'll fit in the tomb. When I reflect sun's beams to start hitting the moon. Reflecting the sun's beams and bouncing them back at the moon. That's cool. It's nice and simple, clean and clear. Don't have to think about it too hard. Silently buck under the pillow like he's missing a tooth, because his fairy ain't real. Okay, dollar under the pillow, like he's missing a tooth for the tooth fairy, but also the buck under the pillow, using a pillow to suppress a gunshot. Cool. Drug dealer, under the coat, everything I'm carrying peels. I fucking hate peels and pills as a wordplay. Probably just me in the New Zealand accent. It absolutely fucking doesn't work here in our accent. But then when I say it in a fucking cartoon, text and drawl, everything I'm carrying peels. I went to the chemist and got me some pills. I see how it works. It always fucking jars a little bit for me because it doesn't work in my accent. And my accent, funnily enough, is the one I hear in my head when I'm thinking. So, but okay, he's American and it definitely works for him. Cool. So everything under the coat, I'm carrying pills. Okay, so he's carrying guns under his coat, and he's a drug dealer with pills under his coat. Cool. I'll have the bullets soaking in like he marinates steel. That's cool. He just took a crash course to death. Jesus ain't grabbing that wheel. That's a nice closer. He finishes on a nice strong fuck you punch in the face. Alright. Moving on to Ola. Mike is one slippery thing, the way he keeps dropping fast. Microphone, as a wordplay it's okay, but it's not great. I've seen it like a million times. That's also worded a little confusing for me because Mike is one slippery thing, the way he keeps dropping fast. What you're actually saying is your opponent is a slippery dude. He's hard to grasp, hard to get a grip on, and he keeps dropping fast. What you are actually saying is that your opponent is a slippery motherfucker who doesn't need a lot of time to write. It's kind of complimentary, and that's not what you want to be doing in a rap battle. You want to be belittling Mike. You want to be talking about what a fucking idiot he is, not complimenting him. So be careful with that. When you're writing, go back over your verse and think, is every line directed at the opponent? Have I got lines that are just self-aggrandizing flex? And if I do, can I reword them to make them about the opponent? And then ask yourself, everything I've said about the opponent, is it a negative connotation? Is there anything there that sounds like it's complimentary towards my opponent? And if there is, how can I reword it to make it a negative? Okay, so every line is used to throw punches at your opponent. Okay, so Mike is one slippery thing, the way he keeps dropping fast, starting to think he runs the game like a fabric. You'll get worn out and bodied out while he's on his gown. Starting to think he runs the game. Okay, so Mike's got a big head. Like fabric, you'll get worn out and bodied out while he's on his gown. Okay, so Mike's wearing a gown for that Mama's Day parade, whatever the fuck that is, in his profile pics. Like a fabric, you'll get worn out and bodied out. I have never taken some clothes out of the laundry hamper and noticed that they're getting threadbare and frayed or have holes in them and gone, man, this is getting bodied out. I don't know, maybe that is a slang term that is used commonly where you come from, but I'm not really seeing it as a good tight connection. While he's on his gown, okay, so alluding to Mike wearing a dress and his profile pics. It's a little played at this point, but it's okay. It's personal. It's directed at your opponent. It's cool. With his painted face, all he needs is a red nose to be a fucking clown. That's nice. I really fuck with that. Mike did have a painted face in his profile pics. All he needs is a red nose to be a fucking clown. That's nice. You're taking something that we're all familiar with. You're putting a little twist on it, and that is genuinely funny. I chuckled out loud. That's cool. I fuck with it. Like a victim of heartbreak with anger, I'll drop the round. Like a victim of heartbreak with anger, I'll drop the round. I guess you mean here like a jilted ex, like a betrayed woman, I'll shoot you. Like a victim of heartbreak with anger is just really bizarre wording. It's shitty grammar. So it leaves me, the audience, kind of scratching my head wondering what the fuck you're actually trying to say with that sentence, and that slows down my reading. That's why I say your stuff's not as clean, not as smooth, not as easy to read as Mike's. Mike's stuff is just grammatically correct. You can just read the sentences without pausing. Everything comes out smooth. When you start using convoluted, forced word choice like this, it just really slows down the reader and it fucks with the readability. Like a victim of heartbreak with anger, or drop the round. Okay, I get why a jilted ex would be popping off shots, but it's not really a super hard punchline. It's not a super clever wordplay or flip or anything. You feeling on fire, that's enjoying M's songs. Okay. But if it's the other way, I'm a sorted out. Is sorted out another fucking Eminem song that I'm not familiar with? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's going over my head. And maybe that's me being a dumbass, but that's going over my head, and I'm not seeing how that is actually a wordplay or punchline that you've built up to. So that one's kind of a non-event for me. Lightweight, but bitch, I'm the one who butch you. Lightweight, but bitch, I'm the one who butch you. If that's supposed to be butcher, as in someone who cuts up meat for a living, and butch ya, as in I'm gonna be the butch one in this relationship and you're gonna be the submissive one, it's okay. If it's supposed to be butcher as in a meat vendor, I'm not sure how it's supposed to play the other way. As a direct statement, oh shit, are you saying you're lightweight? Lightweight, but bitch, I'm the one who butcher. Yeah, no, never say shit like that. Never say shit like I'm a little lightweight. That's as bad as complimenting Mike. You don't want to be saying anything that compliments your opponent, and you don't want to say anything that makes you look weak. I get the whole I'm just a lightweight, but I'm gonna murk you, David and Goliath type thing that you're trying to say here. But I would avoid it. I would avoid saying anything that makes you sound weak or submissive. Okay, just aggression, the whole fucking way. Bitch, I'm the one who butch you. Your bodybuilder's all fats. I'm spitting all facts. You're on my lane. Weight reduced, that's calories burnt down. Weight reduced, that's calories burnt down. I don't know, I'm not fucking really feeling the connection or the wording. I don't lift heavy weight, but when I do it's lightweight. I get that that's a reference to a meme. I don't lift heavy weight, but when I do it's lightweight. I get that that's a meme, but again, you're referring to I don't lift heavy weight. It just makes you sound a little submissive. And it wouldn't if you hadn't opened the bar with what you did. But the two kind of, when you get to this bit, you mentally recall how you started the bar. You kind of set the tone with the opening of the bar. I don't lift heavy weight, but when I do it's lightweight. Memeable moment. I am Jay Cutler. I am Jay Cutler. I am Batman. I am Superman. I am Thanos. These things play better as similes. Okay, lift heavy weight, but when I do it's lightweight, like Jay Cutler. When you say I am Jay Cutler, it just comes across a little bit cringe, because you are not Jay Cutler. You do not have fucking biceps the size of a fat cunt's thighs. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it comes across like a little kid dressing up with a fucking towel for a cape saying I am Superman, and it's like, that's cute, dear. That's lovely, dear. Now go play with your friends in the yard. That would definitely play better as just a straight simile. I don't lift heavy weight, but when I do it's lightweight, like Jay Cutler. And that way you're not trying to directly compare yourself to Jay Cutler. You're alluding to it with a simile. And that just comes across a lot smoother, a lot less try hard, a lot less cringe. The ring will drop, but no credit alert when I buck you. Okay, the ring will drop. Hang on, we're about to be interrupted by a toddler. Alright, no credit, the ring will drop, but no credit alert when I buck you. Okay, so you're talking about the shell casings will fall. You're talking about the gun will drop you. And I think you're also trying to talk about like a reduction in price at a jewellery store, but no credit alert when I buck you. I can see what you're trying to do there, but the wordplay doesn't really work both ways. Steady tapping X. Think of frustrated browser removing ad immediately, Mike pops out. Okay, so pops out, falls off the rest of the multis. You've got butcher, burnt down, buckya, pops out. It's all very slant rhymey. There are no direct, precise rhymes there. It's all a little bit vague and sloppy. And it just doesn't strike me as the strongest wording in the bar to finish on as your closer there. And think a frustrated browser removing ad immediately, Mike pops out. Kind of wordy, and the grammar's off, so again it just affects the readability. You want them K-talks or cut your days short. I really fuck with that. I know that's just an internal rhyme, it's not the fucking punchline or anything, but that is some really nice internal slant rhyming. I really fuck with that. Do more of that. Have your verses full of that shit. Open your lines with K-talks, cut your days short. That really adds to the flow, the cadence. Just pepper your shit with clean little internal rhymes like that. That's nice. Cut your day short, bucks from a rainbow. That's Jews paying. Okay, bucks from a rainbow. So apparently, according to this guy, rainbow is the new derogatory slang term for a boot at boot camp. I'll just have to take this guy's word on it, which makes it maybe a little bit niche. Anything that requires an expo at the end to explain to the audience what the fuck you're talking about should probably be left on the cutting room floor. Imagine going to a comedy show and the comedian tells a joke and then he has to stop the show and explain the joke. Once you get the explanation, you're not going to fucking rewind time and laugh at the joke. It's like you've got that one moment to get the joke across to the audience, and it shouldn't require any further explanation after that. But I also get that this is directed not so much at me, the audience, this is directed at Mike, because if rainbow is indeed a derogatory slang term for a boot, then Mike will get that. Mike will get the reference. So that's aimed directly at the opponent. You're kind of bypassing the judges and the audience and speaking directly to Mike's soul. And I like that. I fucks with that. So even though it slows me, the reader, down a little bit, I fuck with that. That's Jews paying. Okay. That's Jews paying. Is again just forced grammar. I mean, like, you'd never use that in a fucking sentence in a conversation with a regular person. So don't put it in a bar, alright? Find another multi, find another way to word it. I'm the snake eater, you can tell with crow, dead. I'm not sure why dead is in brackets there. Maybe that's supposed to be an ad-lib, like it's an audio track. I'm the snake eater. Okay, snake eater, special forces. You beat Snake in a battle. That's cool. But unless we know who Snake is, and it was a big deal, and it was very recent, that's probably whoosh going to go over people's heads. I'm the snake eater, you can tell with crow. Maybe if you'd said something like, after beating Snake in the battle, I'm the snake eater. You know, like, if you spell that out to us, just assume that the audience is dumb as fuck, okay? Assume the audience is dumb as fuck and speak to the stupidest person in the room. And that way everybody will understand the joke. If you aim the joke at the dumbest motherfucker in the room and you explain it, then everybody will get it. Because unless you know Snake Eater is slang for special forces, that's going to go right over your head. Unless you know you beat Snake in a battle, that's just going to go right over your head. Right? You can tell with crow dead and can skills, no perfume spraying. That's okay. Can skills, perfume spraying. I fuck with that. I've heard a lot of variations of it, but I've never seen perfume spraying. It's always been some version of aerosol. So it's always been some version of aerosol or spray paint. So perfume spraying is a new way to do an old thing, so I fuck with that. You're a soldier, you're trying to make it real, you added being a 1 to your bio. You're trying to make it real, you added being a 1 to your bio. that's really shitty grammar, and that completely fucks with the readability. Just try and get your sentences cleaner, clearer, and more conversational. You're trying to make it real, you add a B and a 1 to your bio. We already know the shit you faking. That's not a clever punchline. That's not a clever wordplay. Why are you closing on it? Okay? You want your closer to be... See, can skills, perfume spraying. There's your closer right there. That's the best wordplay, the best punchline in your bar. Make that your fucking closer, okay? Always finish on your strongest point, because that's the audience's last impression, right? Everything else can set up and build up to it, but make sure your strongest punch, your strongest wordplay, your strongest moment is what you close on. So that's the big ta-da at the end, okay? What you're doing here is can skills, no perfume spraying. That's cool, and it's buried in the middle of the bar, and then the bar just kind of, the bar peaks there, and then it falls off. What you want is to build up to a strong finish. Okay, and that indeed is the closer of your verse, because the rest after that is just expo. So, okay, I mean, I could go back through fucking categories and shit, but I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, punchlines. Let's look at punchlines, because it's a punchline tourney. Featherweight, pound for pound. The stick come ready to blow like it never got hit. Boom. Okay, that's a nice punch. Drake flow start at the bottom, then hit the top next. I'm not a huge fan of that, but yeah, that's okay. So you better not step, cross the line, get knocked out like dodgeball penalties. That's a cool punch. Head on paper, not a hot sauce recipe. Practice putting rounds through the net like I play top golf every week. Putting rounds through the net. Okay, yeah. Shots fired over the internet like I play top golf every week. Yep. They're both cool. I personally like heat on paper, hot sauce recipe better. I personally, my subjective opinion, would have preferred that one be your closer. But okay, that's a bunch of strong punches. Lifting the tools, he's fixing to lose. That's a nice punch in and of itself, and it's mostly just used as setup. You don't measure up, you'll fit in the tomb. Reflect sun's beams to start hitting the moon. That's a hella punch. Buck into the pillow, missing a tooth. Fairy ain't real. Fairy ain't real. I'm not really feeling that as the strongest way to finish that one. But again, we could consider it just set up for the next one. Drug dealer under the coat, everything I'm carrying peels. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of that because of my accent, but that's definitely a good punch. I'll have the bullet soaking in like he marinates steel. That's another nice punch. And then he closes on crash course to death. Jesus ain't grabbing that wheel. Good, hard, solid closer. I'll in terms of punchlines, bodied out while he's on his gown. That's meh. It's very meh. With his painted face, all he needs is his red nose to be a fucking clown. I really fucking like that, and it's fucking buried here in the goddamn middle. But my heartbroken Andrew will drop the round. I'll drop the round isn't really the best, hardest way to close that as a punch. You feeling on fire? Sort it out. Nah, not feeling any of that. I'm the one who butcher. Weight reduced, its calories burnt down. I am Jay Cutler. Steady tapping X, think a frustrated browser, removing ad immediately, mic pops out. That's okay as a punch. The rest of it is more kind of flex and direct speech. You want them K-talks, I'll cut your day short. Beautiful, love that. Jews paying. Perfume spraying. Yeah, see the perfume spraying, I like that as a punch, but it's fucking buried. We already know the shit you faking. that's more direct speech than any kind of punchline or wordplay or anything. Okay, so this one's pretty fucking self-explanatory. Mike absolutely fucking bodied Ola on this one. Mike killed him, buried him, dug him up, pissed on his corpse, and buried him again. Just stacked punchlines. Ola's only got a couple of quotable punchlines, and he's gone and buried them as internal slant rhyming. When he should have seen that those were his best concepts, and put them at the ends of things. So this one, Ola appears to be well over the fucking word limit too. So it should have been a DQ from the start, but we don't need to DQ it. Nobody likes a DQ win when they can just show up and put their opponent in a body bag like Mike has done and get an actual win. So without further ado, my vote goes to Mike Desanto.